So have you been able to use that knowledge and to manifest anything cool so far? Anything
I should
specific come to mind?
say I was considered terminal and I was bedridden for a substantial number of years up to that point.
Wow.
And I helped my mom out. She wasn't doing very well, so I stayed with her during this time. Not that entire process, but like at the latter part of that process. And what actually motivated me was helping her.
Mm-hmm.
So, I exercised and I did things that would be advantageous for her. And
Mm-hmm.
it basically was kind of like a pseudo rehabilitation. But there was a point in time
Yeah.
where I could feel like if I didn't manifest something that was basically game over. I could really feel like, it was hard to get up every day. It was
Yeah.
everything hurt and it even hurt to pee. I required oxygen to even get on a flight to go anywhere. I had
Wow.
oxygen deprivation at altitude. And so one day I just threw out like I didn't throw out my medications because you're kind of dependent on them, but
Yeah.
I just started sitting for a substantial amount of time, for what most people would think like 5 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I would just think, heal and, get better and get better and get better. And I
Yeah.
started gradually getting better and people and things came that like I had a dentist that recommended somebody I had done business with since I was 16 just come up out of the blue and had a conversation. And he could tell that, I didn't really care to be alive anymore. It's like it hurt every
Mm-hmm.
day and nothing was really any fun. And he's like, well, why don't you go see this naturopath? I said, you've seen all the highest end doctors in the world. You spent tons and tons. You spent all your
Mm-hmm.
money, right? All your retirement, everything on these things, and they're not helping. Why don't you go see a naturopath?
Mm-hmm.
And I went to see the naturopath, and that was from sitting and focusing not on the how, but on
Yeah.
the
Right.
the net result is like, getting your mind and everything out of the way is like, I just want to be better. It's like, I'm tired of this.
So how long were you sick? Well, I mean, it sounds like it was a decent amount of time that you.
I started having issues breathing in 1997. I used to do trainings for Novell and Microsoft. I used to go and train resellers on high technology, like the latest stuff that was out. And
Mm-hmm.
I'd go to Novell and Microsoft and I would train in their super labs and play with all this stuff and train with the engineers. Then I'd go to these
Mm-hmm.
high-end seminars and train crowds and individuals. And as I was flying at that point in time, and I never really did drugs, I ate pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
I barely drank. I mean, I drank here and there, but I historically even I hardly ever drank. But I started having trouble breathing at altitude at that point in time, and it just kind of you went downhill from there.
Really? Were
I
you
was about
ever
age 26.
were you ever diagnosed with anything, or it was just kind of a mystery? What
Um,
the?
they couldn't narrow down the blood disorder. It was the naturopath narrowed down what was going on, but later on it actually developed into cancer because, you're taking so many medications, you're not eating as well, you're not taking care of yourself. Smoking pot to kill the medications because they make you so nauseous,
Mm-hmm.
to have some function in your life.
Yeah.
And
So you had a
basically
lot of
the
stuff going on.
naturopath, once I got to him, he's like, whoa, you're not getting enough of this, enough of that, and your
Yeah.
pHs are terrible, and you
Yeah.
should take this and that. And I'm like, so I'll try anything, at this
Right.
point in time, I'm
Yeah.
I'm game.
Yeah.
And I started feeling better, progressively
Uh-huh.
better and better.
Uh-huh.
He gave me some like ascorbic vitamin C. He's like, take this 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8, take it as many times as you can.
Uh-huh.
And then these multivitamins and these other suggestions. And then we led into detoxing later on.
Yeah. Um, so obviously like the idea to go to the naturopath or whatever that's called, that that was kind of inspired action, it sounds like, that came from previous work. You were already laying the foundation with the meditation sessions and the visualization sessions. Is that right then?
Yeah, and it was pretty quick too. When I was sitting and just thinking to get better. And then this phone call happened, and this timeline is really fuzzy because the brain isn't operating really well,
Yeah.
and you're stoned every day too. I mean, that doesn't help, that.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And I historically never really got stoned. It was just really to kind of kill off the medications.
Sure.
And I'd say within 60 days, 30 to 60 days, It was like the end of the year, like September, November, and then the dentist showed up, which was a client from when I was 16. I was in my late 30s by then, so somebody I known for 20 years. He's like, go and see this person.
Hmm.
And I'm like, I'll try anything at this point in time. So
Yeah.
that was an inspired action, having that conversation. And then I had to schedule, you had to understand what kind of undertaking this was. You have to call the airline and you have to call the
Hmm.
doctor and have them coordinate to get oxygen to be able to get on a flight. Because I was on the East
Yeah.
Coast and he was on the West Coast.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
it took until January to get the ability and the money to go and, take a trip. And I
Yeah.
had very good friends. They let me stay with them. So I didn't have to get hotels or anything. They didn't
Yeah.
know what was going on and never told any friends or family how sick I was.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be, pitied or anything like that. I
Right.
didn't want to
Yeah.
treat it special. I mean, they
Yeah.
see me taking medications and stuff, so they kind of know something's going on, right?
Yeah.
Something's not quite right,
Yeah.
but they don't know exactly what. So don't ask, don't tell type of thing.
So the process of getting better, it sounds like it was a pretty gradual thing. There definitely wasn't
Yeah.
a moment where you woke up and suddenly you were completely healed. It was
Spontaneously, no.
no. But nevertheless, you kept putting in the work and you kept, I'm assuming you kept up with the visualization and the practices like that.
Hmm.
And so what's your state like now? Do you feel like you've reached 100%? Do you feel like you still have some work to do?
No,
I
not
mean, no one's
100%.
ever
I
a
mean,
hundred.
I
Yeah,
still
no one's
require a
ever a
lot of
hundred percent.
rest.
Yeah, sure, sure.
But it's I had a rare cancer. I lost my right eye when I was an infant, and there's
Okay.
a genetic disposition that goes with that. And it's hard to say whether
Oh,
that was the issue or not.
yeah, yeah,
But if I don't get enough rest, the blood disorder comes back,
yeah.
and I have a hard time breathing. So I
Oh, okay.
literally oxygen desaturate if I don't rest enough.
Yeah,
But it's creating an environment where you don't have to get up and do the normal types of things and money comes to you a little bit more easily and
right.
you can work from home type of idea. So using intellect and manifestation to bring in clients and to have, a little out of the norm lifestyle so you don't have to get up and do the 9 to 5. If I did the 9